Happy day, happy day, happy day. Welcome to Miss Karen's dance floor. This is where we ponder, practice, and play being an authentic, full-hearted, fully present, full send human. Not just a human, right? Like human in 2026. And for me and people around me, being human in 2026 in America, in Portland, Oregon, wherever you are, you're there. And we've got some common ground as humans. And we also each have our own, depending on where we live, where we are, our own challenges, our own gift, our own blessings, the differences. But here we're going to talk about the common ground, like the being human, that we're all being human together. So I'm so glad you're here. Hang on, it's going to be a good night tonight. Before we get started, I know this is this. I'm on one side of the camera and you're on the other side of the camera, and I don't even know where you are. But I want you to be where you are right now. So just take a moment. You can close your eyes if you want to. Just be here. Arrive. Take a breath. Forget about everything else. And just be here. I like to think of it too sometimes as like landing, right? Like you got to land places as we move and travel, and then you end up somewhere. It's like you got to land, and then you kind of got to like settle in and be like, be there. Be where you are, fully. I got a great show for you tonight, and actually I have a great little like pilot. I'm calling it this a little pilot series. It's 6 weeks, and it's the gallery experience. This is the Haven in Portland, Oregon, and it is an artist collective. It is a magical, magical place. And in between me talking and doing my thing, the camera is going to show you some of the art, and you can experience that in this way. So that's what the 6 weeks is going to be. Tonight we're going to talk about, we're going to do some cooking. We're going to talk about transportation. We're just going to have a great night. We're going to talk about Firefly. But before we do that, we're going to have some music, because music is medicine. Music is, in my opinion, part of the fabric of our life. And tonight we have the fabulous, the absolutely magnificent, fabulous human, Hannah Faye Cooper.
In pain, beyond time, they go. Spinal pressure deep I am breathing to the places. Tell myself where to go. Now I'm learning. Now I'm healing. Now I'm doing. Turn myself into radiant beams, flowing onwards like the sun. I am everything. I am everything. I am breathing to the places that tell myself where to go. Now I'm learning. Now I'm healing. Now I'm dealing. Turn myself into radiant beams, floating onwards like the sun. I am everything. We are everything. We are everything. In pain, beyond time, my bones, they grind.
Thank you so much, Hannah Faye. Thank you. They have been such a blessing in my life in the last few years, particularly on the dance floor. One of my favorite humans to dance with. Thank you for that. Thank you so much. All right. There's a lot happening in the world. Even in just the last few days. This is March 3rd, 2026, if you're watching this some other time. Who knows what will happen from here, but it is a turbulent time for us in our society. And I had a sort of a thought of, wow, and here I am making a show about being happy, because that's really what it's about, being an authentic, full-hearted, fully present human is really about being, happy and fulfilled and being able to be a vessel of joy in the world. And what really came to me is I don't pay attention to a lot that's happening out in the world. I try to pay attention to what is happening right around me. And I do that because it is the only way that I can do and be what I am designed and meant to be. That it's the only way that I can love so passionately, courageously, unconditionally. It would just break my heart in so many pieces, too much to be absorbed in what is happening in the world. And so I'm just going to hold that, and I'm going to hold that if I just do that, and we all do that, this is the idea about being authentic, is understanding who we are and allowing ourselves to be that fully, like fully. So I get it. I get their stuff, but this is not what this is going to be about. This is going to be about being the best human that we can be, being the happiest human that we can be. And so we're going to talk about, just basic things. I truly, truly believe that our mission right now as a collective is to build a foundation of love that we can redesign, reimagine, and build a world in which we are all supported, upheld, and felt worthy. I don't know how to, the foundation of love, like I think about that historically, and you look at history and you say, well, gosh, this is like, we keep learning things. It's like, yeah, but we have yet to do that. We have yet to build a foundation of love in a society that's built on a foundation of love. Perhaps there has been, and maybe they've been, well, I won't go there. And the way we do it, I believe that we're going to do it one heart at a time, one human at a time. That's all we can do. That's all you can do is be you and build a foundation of love in your life. And if we all do that, well, that's how we do it. There's no other way. It's each one of us making choices, choosing what you believe, choosing your values, choosing how you show up, what you support, all of it. Choosing love to be the foundation of your life. That's what I want. That's what this is about. We are like the bricks of the foundation. If we want to look at it that way. We're building foundations, foundation of love. My commitment in this series, and for all of it really, is I'm going to be real. I'm going to show up as me. And I'm not particularly polished. And so this isn't going to be particularly polished. It's going to be real. And it's going to have heart. And I'm going to stay committed to that. Now, that doesn't mean that we're not going to like jazz things up and make things fun. Because I've got a absolutely spectacular crew here making this happen, and we're just going to have some fun with it. But that's my one commitment. My other one, I have actually 3 of them. The second one is I'm going to share my wisdom. I'm not going to share anything that I don't know to be true from my own human experience. If I don't know it to be true from my own human experience, I'm not going to share it with you. And thirdly, I believe, and my own commitment in general, is that you focus on the spirit and not the specific. And so, and what I mean by that is, if I say to you, it's really helpful for all of us if we're each kind. That kindness is super helpful in this collective experience. That's the spirit. If I were to tell you how to be kind, that's the specific. And we're unique individuals. How you determine what is kindness is what you determine what is kindness. That's not for me to decide. That's the specific. We're going to focus on the spirit and not the specific. So, with that, we're going to take a little break, and I'm going to introduce to you our featured artist tonight. Well, I'm not going to introduce to you tonight. One of my lovely crew members, is going to introduce to you our musician tonight, Joe Riso. And I'll see you back here in 5.
Hi, my name's Joe Riso. This is my studio, and I'm going to do a little demo painting for you. Let me get some music. There we go.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Don't forget to land. Come back. Be here. And here is the meadow. The meadow where we fly on wings of love. Light on wings of love. That is a firefly to me. Light on wings of love. So how do you do that? Like, how really do you do that? The shine of the light, the light comes from, like, we are light, every one of us. The light is our being who we are letting that just radiate and shine. The wings come from love, letting love guide you. It's a fabulous, fabulous, fabulous feeling. I highly encourage it. And here in the meadow, this meadow is where you, like, the metaphorical stepping into when you can feel it, when you can feel like I'm really, really grounded and feel like I'm being me and I'm full of love, my heart's open, and just this feeling of like joy, flight. The first step in making that happen is to stand, what I call stand in your truth. Be you, fully. Now that sounds pretty simple, right? Like, how simple is that? Just be you? But you know what? It's one of the hardest things to do, particularly in the society where we've had a lot of, there's been a, well, what would say, like programming. There's a lot that, and some of that is good, some of that is necessary. But to know and be yourself is a lifelong journey. The way that I think that you start is really kind of like digging into, like getting to know yourself. And you get to know yourself by exploring and doing things and then understand, like, how did that feel? And it's like, does it feel, I believe that, like, we're creatures of pleasure. Like, it's not supposed to hurt, particularly to be you. It's not supposed to be painful. It's supposed to feel good when you really dial into it. So how does that feel? And that's like, I literally daily have moments where I'll do something and then I'll be like, is that really, like, was that really an expression of me? Was that me, like, in some kind of trauma response, some kind of wound? Is this really me, or is this me reacting? And what can I learn from this, and how can I maybe tomorrow not get caught up in whatever that may be? Like daily getting to know yourself. There's a lot of tools that you can use to get to know yourself. One of them is, like, there's personality tests. Myers-Briggs is one. There's one called the Enneagram, which is 9 personality types, sort of like archetypes. And that's a very complicated, where you have a base type and you can have wings, and it's a lot. There's a lot to know there. There's also human design, which is a relatively new field, which again is super complex. It has to do with our energy centers. It has to do with, like, it's really about how you're designed. It's fascinating. I highly recommend that. If you're not familiar with human design, highly recommend jumping in and looking at that. And what else? Oh, astrology. Let's see. I'm not, that's what I can come up with right now. If you know of anything else and you're listening and watching, you want to put that in there, that would be great. That's how, share wisdom, share collective wisdom. That's a good thing. So get to know yourself. Stand in your truth. Be you. Sorry, I have to. Oh, and then, so you do this exploring of self. And then it's about expressing yourself. And that might seem like it might be easier, but sometimes it's also not, depending on who you are. Sometimes some people it's super easy to be yourself. Some people it's really hard. Everything is this, we're each on our own unique journey. So be kind to yourself, be gentle with yourself, and accept yourself as you are, and trust that you can, like, move forward. Expressing yourself is in everything. The words you use, the clothes you wear, the car you drive, the everything you do, everything you choose is an expression of you. Make it that way. I'm a big proponent in don't follow trendy unless you're a trendy person, and that's who you are. Find out who you are, do you. Have it be like where you know that. It's not something that you have to work at. You just express who you are. And the more you can do it, the more it kind of feeds. It's like you get your legs underneath you. Sorry, I'm going to have to. All right, let me put my light down. I should have done that to begin with because it felt a little like awkward, and that it's like that's part of like do I want to feel awkward here? No, I want to feel comfortable and at home in front of the camera and with you, and so we'll just keep working at it. I had a really tough time when I really started this journey, and I was like, how do I do this? And I had this vision of my very best self. Like, oh wow, when you really look at it and you stop and you close your eyes and you say, imagine you the masterpiece. What does that look like? Could you imagine like being created as this masterpiece? What does that look like? Like truly, what does it look like? And I had such low self-esteem, which is really amazing because I have always been an extremely confident person, but I had such low self-esteem. I did that. This is part of how Karen the Dancing Lady became Karen the Dancing Lady for me. Was I said, okay, in my head, Karen the Dancing Lady is my best self. This is like, is me the masterpiece. And so I kind of created the character, and then I would just set out to like be it. And a lot of times it was really a struggle. It was like, I'm gonna go to work, and I was working as a barista at Starbucks, and I worked the early shift, 4:30 in the morning, actually like 4 to 8:45. 4:30 is when we'd actually get customers. And I would go to work and I would be like, okay, I'm gonna do this. I'm going to be the dancing lady today. I'm going to be the dancing lady. I'm not going to be the wounded, right, cranky Karen. I know that might be hard for people to think about me being cranky, but there was a time that indeed was. So that might work for you. That might be something that might be helpful, is where you imagine and see yourself in all your beauty, in all of it. And then you kind of like name it and create a character or whatever, and just keep reminding yourself. And when you have a tough day, ask yourself, who am I being, right? How am I showing up? Am I showing up as like my wounded self or the sort of autopilot self? Or am I showing up as my best self? Am I showing up as the dancing lady? Or whatever it is that it is for you. So I hope that's helpful. I want you to be you, because I know that's where the joy comes. And when you're you, you're doing the thing that you're doing for the collective. That's how I see it. All right, practice. I'm going to give you a little thing if you would like to have something to practice for the next week, till we come back next week. Here's an idea, and it has to do with words. Some super simple words. I recognize how often I say things, and I'll say a phrase, and I'll be like, what? I don't even know what that means, much less, it's just those automatic phrases, much less, that's not what my heart wants to say right now. Why am I saying this? So words are really important, and getting to the point where you're expressing yourself through the words that are true to you. So one way to practice this is write your own affirmation. A lot of people have affirmations, they post affirmations, and a lot of times those are affirmations that they find from someone else. Wow, that's really nice. I'd like that little quote. And I'll have this little quote on on your bathroom window or somewhere, in your car, the little thing that reminds you of something, the thing that you need to hear. But maybe what you need to hear is your words. So write yourself an affirmation, and when you do it, make sure each word that you're really thinking through is this, try to listen to yourself, listen to your own knowing, what's happening in your body when you say that word. Is there an ease? So write your own affirmation, practice that. All right, we are gonna take another little break. And in this break, there's 5 minutes. Hannah's going to continue to play some music. There'll be some art. But let this be an opportunity to another practice, is saying, I've got 5 minutes here, sort of free. You can decide what you're going to do with that. That's that part of learning to be authentic. Make your choice, make it be about what you want to do in this moment, in this time, for this 5 minutes. I'll see you back.
In a house by the river lives a band of boys. Born with plenty and prone to wander, their lives are their own, to live or squander. In a cabin on the mountain lives a boy. Oh, he's got joy, joy like a fountain, born with fool's gold and prone to apathy. His life is his own, a map to find something you can choose. Find something you can't lose. I am lost, lost. apartment by Mount Tabor lives a queer child, grieving their losses and weighted down and prone to grieving. Their life is their own. Anyway, that they please it. Find something you can choose. Find something you can't lose. Oh, are your lost?
Welcome back. We are in the kitchen now. We are in the kitchen. And in the kitchen is about nourishing our body in the very, very best way that we can. And not just our body, but also our spirit, because we are energy. And when we cook, we are infusing our energy into whatever we make. So it is not just about food nourishing your body, but food that nourishes your spirit as well. That's what I think is how we do it, how to do it. And so I came up with this form of cooking when I was cooking for a family. I was also cooking for a restaurant and cooking like all the time. And I don't really like to, I'm not really a recipe person. I like the creativity of cooking. So I would study, like I would just look at things and then I would make a food. You'd read a couple recipes and you're like, oh, okay, I get the idea. But I also had a firm foundation in the basics of cooking, in technique of cooking. So this is not going to be about technique of cooking. This is going to be about the creativity of cooking, what I call canvas cooking. And being able to stock your pantry with food that you like, ingredients that work for what you like to eat, the flavors that you like. If you don't like Asian food, then don't stock Asian food ingredients in your pantry. Stock what you like. And then having these really easy canvases that you can do in any way. So it's not about saying, I need to go get all these things to make something. It's about saying, oh, I have all these things. What am I going to make out of them? And it sort of frees you up to not have to do so much planning in advance. It's all about stocking your pantry in a way that allows you to unleash your creativity and make things. So that's what canvas cooking, that's what it means to me. So one of the most important things about cooking is having good knife skills. Like being able to use your knife will change everything about your cooking. If you're not comfortable with the knife, cooking is going to be more of a chore than, and when it becomes a chore, then a lot of times the energy that you might be adding into whatever you're making might not be the best energy, because sometimes when things are a chore, right, what happens? We feel tension, we feel anxiety, we feel sometimes even anger. I know I did it, like when you're just tired, right? And you get home and you're cooking and you're like, why didn't anybody put the dishes in the dishwasher, and why isn't the thing, and why is there laundry on the floor, and what is going on? Why am I the one doing all this stuff, right? Like I've been there, trust me. Like, and give yourself grace that sometimes, right, it just happens. But so knife skills. So I'm going to show you this, and if you know this, great. If you don't know this, I think it'll change things. Because I did a lot of cooking classes. I used to teach a lot of cooking classes, and I wouldn't like share this with people because I thought everybody knows how to cut an onion. I mean, how many cooking, you use a lot of onions cooking. They are like this base flavor. So here's how to cut an onion. All right, you start with your onion. This is the root. Holds it all together. The other side of the root, I don't know what would you call this side, right? Where that would be where the green part grows, right? That's how that works, right? So that side, you are just going to cut off the bottom, and then cut it in half through the root, so that you have two halves that are all together, held together. Take off the like papery part, and it's all together, not falling apart. Oh, and the other thing about your knife is, talk about authenticity. It should be your knife. My mom is like a tiny lady, like 5'2". Well, now she's like 4'8", I think, or something like that. But like she would have these little like 6-inch chef's knives. Like I'd pick it up and I'd be like, this is like a paring knife. This isn't a chef's knife. This is like, have it be for you, your hand, what feels good. People used to always ask me, tell me what kind of knife to have. Your knife. So hopefully when you can buy it, when you buy your knife, you can try it out and see how it feels in your hand, the ergonomics of it. It's like literally, it makes a big difference. All right, so you got your onion, and you're gonna have a nice sharp knife because that makes all the difference. And then what you're gonna do is you're just gonna take your knife and you're just gonna cut along like this. And if you were being technical, like if somebody said, I want a 1/4-inch dice onion, what you would do is from here to here would be a 1/4 of an inch, 1/4 of an inch, 1/4 of an inch, 1/4 of an inch. And then you flip it and you go like this. And again, if you were being precise, you would be a 1/4 inch, 1/4 inch, 1/4 inch if you wanted to have a precise like 1/4 inch dice. I don't know why you would want to do that, but people do that. But to have it relatively the same. So then and it's all still together, and then you just come and you go down this. Do-do-do, 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 and you got this at the end, and there you go. You just diced up an onion. I see a lot of people, they cut them both things, and then you got this, and you're doing a whole bunch of things. Just super simple how to dice an onion. All right? So we'll just put this in here. I hope that helps. I don't like to often tell people like what to do. My friend recently, we had a solstice gathering and brought a pomegranate, and I watched her start to open this pomegranate, And pomegranate like stain, it's crazy. And I just was quiet, and I was like letting them do it. It's like, oh, they must know what they're doing. They look like they've had a lot of pomegranates. And I just and then I said, hey, when I realized they weren't going to do it the way like I've always taught, which is underwater, like you get a big bowl of water and you cut it in half and then you kind of pull it and then there's no mess. It's like there's no red juice staining everything. And so then I told them, and they both kind of, there was two of them, and they laughed, and they're like, why didn't you tell us that to begin with? And I was like, I don't know. It just seemed like I didn't want to be kind of like the what is that? I don't want to be the one saying, that's not how you do it. Could you do it this way? But anyway, so I hope that helps. All right, today's canvas is egg roll wrappers. I love things that can be small, and while this might not seem like a meal, an egg roll might not seem like a meal, but a couple of them with a side of something, some like a grain, a salad, or whatever, absolutely can be a meal. So here's egg roll wrappers, and everything can be made. So you can buy these, but you could also make these. That's a lot of work, but it is possible. And what you get, so here's your egg roll, here's your wrapper. Da-da-da. And what is in an egg roll? Traditional egg roll. Anybody? Eggs, vegetables. It's Asian, right? It's like there could be a few different things, but mostly it's like either like pork, vegetables. Yeah, okay. Beanstalks? Yeah. So, but think about it. What could go in it? Absolutely anything. Absolutely anything. Tofu. How about if you made a cheeseburger egg roll? And put inside of it, like ground beef and cheese and maybe some diced up pickles and some, like a burger sauce and whatever. What if you made a Reuben egg roll and you put some pastrami in there and some sauerkraut and some whole grain mustard? Let's see, what else could you make? Well, anything. Again, that's where it comes. That's the whole thing. It's like you've got this, and the beauty of that is if you have little bits of things and you want to customize things and you're making egg rolls and it's like somebody might want this one, somebody might want some of this. And so you can kind of have creativity for like whoever's eating the different fillings. Because it doesn't take very much to fill this. So one of the egg rolls that I came up with, because I obviously have done this a lot, and that worked really well, and that when I was catering, I used to sell a ton of this. People loved it. And so it is what I call like a Southwestern. We'll just call it a Southwestern egg roll. So we've got black beans. We've got red pepper. We've got some chopped up kale. And we have some roast beef. And the roast beef, like you can sometimes just get a slice at the deli counter of roast beef and maybe even ask them to cut it thick, a little thicker. And so it's just thick, and then that's one slice, dice it up, got that. All right? So there you go. We're just going to toss that together. And now, this, if I put this inside here, it's good, but it's going to be kind of boring. So I like to add a little bit, some kind of binder. And this is a chipotle, like mayo, except it's not really a full mayo. I'm not a big mayo fan. This is where that comes in, you do you. I usually have always done like a mix of mayo and sour cream. And then spices, because the egginess of mayo is just, I just don't like it. All right, so what's that?
Say
Chipotle mayo. So there you go. Now, when you have your egg roll, put it with the point forward, get some water, and then just paint it along the outside. And then you've got the center place where you're going to put it. This is kind of where you're going to put your filling, just like that. Do-to-do, do-to-do, do-to-do. And then you're going to do your sides, tuck them like that. Take this part, and then just tuck your little that and do a really tight as you can. The things to think about with egg rolls is these areas right here where you don't want too many holes, because then as the things get hot and bubbly, they can come out. So then you're just gonna, and the water on that makes that stick. And there you have a little egg roll, Southwestern egg roll. And you can have a little chipotle mayonnaise on the side, some kind of little dip. You can have some, maybe even guacamole. You could have guacamole on the inside. You could have whatever, and you can do these in big batches. This is what I used to love to do, is things like this. And I would make big batches of them, and then I would have them in the freezer. And then you could just pull them out for a lunch. You could pull them out for a dinner. You can do whatever. So egg rolls, highly recommend them as a canvas. I'd love to see what you come up with. On cooking these, if you want them to be crispy, but not like a full deep fry, I usually just put a little bit of oil and just crisp it up a little bit and then finish it in the oven. You can also just do a light brush of oil and bake it that way, but that doesn't, with egg roll wrappers, they get a little, it's kind of a different texture. Air fryers are also, I haven't actually used them much, but I've heard they're absolutely fabulous, and it would be a fabulous way to crisp up an egg roll and make it nice and crisp for you. So I would love for you to share your ideas, and if you actually make an egg roll this week, will you go to Instagram and post that as #Canvas Cooking with Love. Canvas Cooking with Love. And everyone that does that this week, I'm going to send you a love letter with a little Happy Day sticker pack along the way for just this week. So encourage people to jump in and be engaged in this whole thing. All right? There you go. Canvas cooking. All right. We're going to take another little break. Come back. We'll see you back here. Thank you.
This song is actually a song about grief. And I think it's really important to witness. And that's an interesting thing about when awful things happen. It's not actually the awful thing that happened that affects you. It's the not feeling like you have anyone to talk to about it. And I wrote this song about a bird in my backyard that passed away.
Birds, they listen. Cry for war, only to find this bitter this bitter letter I sent, a bird on my lap. Their heart was broken, they could not sing, they could not feel a thing. On this bitter, this little birds, they listen. Can you listen, listen, please, listen.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you, Hannah Faye. I was watching Joe paint. It's very fascinating. Welcome back. Welcome back. All right. This next segment is going to be about how we transport ourselves, because in this human form, we need to move between time and space. And how do we do that? How do we transport ourselves through time and space? What are some ways or some methods, what would you call that? What's the word? Well, we'll just go with it. Like car, right? You can get in a car. You can ride a bike. You could ride a motorcycle. Anybody got anything? Any other things? Skateboard? Bus? Or your feet? Skis? Oh. A horse. Oh my gosh, I totally want to have a life where I get around by horse. I'm a horse person. I would like that. A horse. What else? Oh, I have a friend that has a one wheel. That's how he gets around, on a one wheel. I've seen somebody on a unicycle. Scooter. Yeah, lots of ways. Lots of ways to get around, to transport ourselves. But today, we're going to talk about the most common, which is an automobile, a car or a truck or some moving tin box. That's what we're going to talk about today. And why are we going to talk about that? Well, because I believe that it is a perfect opportunity, again, to practice. And because, particularly when you're by yourself, because when you're by yourself, well, you're by yourself. And nobody else has to know anything that's going on, right? Whatever's happening in that car, nobody else knows. So nobody else knows if you're driving down the street going, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you. The people that are passing you in their cars, they don't know that that's what you're doing. But it feels good. It really does. So it's a way to kind of like step into the loving people in a bigger way kind of safely. Because, again, nobody knows you're doing it. I found that when I really started to look at it, a lot of my own behavior behind the wheel was, and like mostly my dad. I don't remember my mom even driving a whole bunch, but like what that was like. And so, I would sometimes find myself, and I would be like, wow, what is that voice? And it was like, oh, that's not even my voice. That's my dad's voice. That's my dad's anger. That's my dad's thing. That's not mine. And so when you're driving, why do you think it would be important for you to practice being loving and kind?
So you don't hit another car.
So you don't what?
So you don't hit a car.
So you don't hit a car. Yeah?
So you're not spreading a bunch of angry energy everywhere you go?
There you go. Not spreading a bunch of, because when you emit that anger, that anger or that frequency, you're emitting that. That's real. It might be contained in your little box, your car, your vehicle, but you are emitting that out into the collective. And if you could think about that, if you could think about all of us in our cars, and if everybody is in their car, every time something bad happens, like there's a lot of traffic, you get cut off, things happen, if we're all doing that, that adds to this sort of collective, like angst a little bit. So how about if we add some collective love to the game? So the ways to do this are to pay attention to how you react. How do you react when somebody cuts you off? And the way to sort of help yourself is to then think about, okay, like if somebody cuts you off and you're instantly like in a state of pressure, angry, mad about that, what being cut off, the first thing you think of is, have I ever cut somebody off unintentionally? Yeah, I guess I have. Can I imagine any situation in which the person in that car is actually a beautiful, beautiful human being and not this terrible thing that I'm making them out to be because they happen to just cut me off? Is it possible that probably 99% of the time the person in that car has no ill intention whatsoever towards you at all and didn't intend to cut you off, right? So there's that. And it's just a reworking of it. It's just catching yourself and going, oh, wow, okay. Think about, here's another one, tailgating. Tailgating is the act of driving very closely behind another vehicle. Why do we tailgate?
Because we want them to go faster.
We want them to go faster. And we want them to do something they're not. We want them to do what we want them. In most situations, it's not like, and if you think about it energetically, what tailgating is, Hannah Faye, you wanna be a, imagine we're walking along, it would be like me doing this. Would you ever do that? Would you go to the grocery store and like go in and be like, right? But that is exactly what we're doing, right? Oh my God, I used to tailgate all the time. And I tell you, there wasn't anything nice about it. It was about get your butt out of the gate. And why aren't you driving the way I want to drive or the way I'm driving? Everything about it is energetically not good. All right, so just an opportunity, another opportunity to practice. So I'm going to open that up for you again, another little opportunity to practice this week. Think about your driving. Just get in the car and think about how you feel when you're in traffic. If you're mad because you're in traffic, imagine that you are part of the traffic. Rewire yourself, think about it like you're there. Let's make the best out of it. You will feel better when you start to eliminate those negative interactions with the humans around you in cars. I have this idea of wanting to do a project where you have a picture of like a freeway, particularly those LA freeways that are like 6 lanes or whatever. Think about how many cars there are, and like this picture of that freeway, and then eliminating all of the cars. And what are you left with? You're left with all the people in the cars. I mean, that's what it is. Like we're still there. We're still human, and it's still an interaction. It is a little protected because of how we are in the car, but the energies are still there. So I encourage you to look at that, to think about how that might be a way in which you can kind of up the amount of love in your life, the foundation of love, just through your driving. Simple little thing. Okay, so I think that is what I've got for you today in this. Yeah, I can't see that. We got this love notes. This is oh yes. Okay. Yes. I want to talk about what my philosophy is about the dance floor. This is Miss Karen's dance floor. And to me, the dance floor is the dance floor of life. That it's always the dance, that everywhere we are is the dance floor. How we show up to that. And that it's this not necessarily about like dancing in this physical way, although I encourage you to dance in the like all the time, everywhere, make life a dance floor. Physically do that, because dance is powerful, powerful, powerful medicine. But for me, the dance floor is really about that place where we come together, that where you show up consciously and engaged in interacting with others. Like, could you ever imagine a dance floor that's empty? That's like, or just like solo person on a dance floor? I don't think that's the idea is how we move together and learning how to move together with people that you just don't agree with, don't like, don't have any interest in whatsoever, but they're a human and they're here and we're here. And how do we do that together? That to me is what like the dance floor is. And in this thing of this container of Miss Karen's dance floor, it's not so much about the movement of dance, but the being present to the dance floor of life. I hope that makes sense. I wanted to kind of clear that up because I had quite a few people were like, oh, what is this? What is this you are doing? And this is really what I'm doing, is wanting to share my own wisdoms, my own knowing, and I want people to be happy. And I'm a pretty happy person. I've kind of figured it out. I think I figured out how to be happy for me, and I want to share that with people. I want people to have the opportunity to know that life can be absolutely this juicy, fun, exciting, sometimes super challenging as well. But it's a good thing. I would love for you to be back again next week. I would love to see people show up for this live. I'd love to see people make this a time together where you get a couple friends and put some dinner together, have a little pot, have a little bite to eat, turn on your screen on Tuesday night and come to Miss Karen's dance floor and then talk amongst yourself about, talk about your driving, talk about, the canvases, egg rolls, have some fun with it. I hope that, I hope that it's an offering for you and that it's a value and a blessing in your life, because you are a blessing to this life. You are a beautiful masterpiece, and I love you, and I look forward to seeing you back here next week for another episode of Karen's Dance Floor. Until then, happy day. Happy day.